Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're all doing well this afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Ms. Strong. Let's see. What is the SAP reset date?
Good afternoon, Judge. It's June the 4th.
Where are we starting this afternoon?
We'll start with position number 11. He has a private attorney.
Okay. And this is Mr. Massey. Good afternoon, Mr. Massey. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Massey, you've been charged in case 24 CR 003156E with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Fourth arrest, 06 battery, simple battery. Afraid dead, docket. Level 1.
Afternoon, Mr. Walker.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 3181 Pennington Street, I believe, with the name of the victim, Miss Monica Brown. She advised that her and the defendant are in a relationship and they share a child together. They were having a verbal disagreement that turned physical, at which point he did punch her in her lip, causing a laceration. The state is asking for a signature bond through pretrial services, no contact with Miss Monica Brown, a stay away from the incident location, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while on bond, and we are also asking for a 2-day anger awareness. I'm not sure if Miss Brown is on the line, but of course we would sound for the victim, Miss Monica Brown.
If Ms. Brown is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Does not appear so. Counsel, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Thomas Jones for Mr. Massey. Mr. Massey voluntarily surrendered himself to authorities yesterday. He had only recently found out that there was a warrant in his name when he did a job application for a security application for his job at Hartsfield International Airport, where he is gainfully employed. Mr. Massey is 53 years old and a lifelong Atlanta resident. He is not a flight risk, and he is eager to have this case behind him. He's not a danger to the community, and he has minimum contact with his child's mother, and there's no danger of any intimidation of witnesses or obstructing justice. And Mr. Massey is a productive member of society, and we would request he be released on a signature bond.
Okay, so Miss Brown is Mr. Massey's his child's mother?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and the Pennington Street address, is that where is he associated with that address at all?
No, Your Honor. He's not.
Okay. And does he have contact with the child?
Yes, he does have contact with his child, but he has minimum contact with the mother.
Okay, I just want to know because I don't want to keep a father from their child, so I'll have third-party contact for visitation. So it'll be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further contact with Monica Brown. Stay away from the Pennington Street address. Third-party transfer of any minor children for visitation, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
And Your Honor, I'm so sorry. I have one correction. I clearly can't read my own handwriting. The victim's name is Maria Brown, not Monica.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's why I was about to ask.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Also, I apologize, Judge. What's the attorney's name? Again, I wasn't able to hear it.
Thomas Jones.
Thomas Jones?
Yes, sure.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Okay, now let's see. Is Miss Maria Brown on the line? Okay.
We haven't had contact, so I don't think so.
Okay, doesn't appear so. All right, good luck to you, Mr. Massey. Anything further today, Mr. Jones?
No, Your Honor, may I be excused?
Yes, have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.
All right, next we have position number 2, Mr. Andrews. You're good. I'm sorry, he has a private attorney as well, but is he on?
Is that Mr. Cooper?
Yeah.
Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Cooper. Good afternoon. You also. Good afternoon to you also, Mr. Andrews. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Thank you, sir. Mr. Andrews, you've been charged in case 24 CR 0031578 with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
You got an open ag assault and battery. 24 SC 001-283. He's out on pretrial. You gave him 5,000. No further violent contact. So I'm revoking that. 2023 FTA. Got a theft by taking financial transaction card fraud out of the cab.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. Essiano.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This incident occurred January 7th, 2024. Officers responded to 1315 Northwest Drive Northwest in Atlanta in reference to a dispute. Upon arrival, officers made contact with the victim, Sierra Jacks, who advised that she and the defendant lived together. The parties were in a dispute because the victim refuses to accept the defendant back into her life. During the dispute, the defendant continually grabbed the victim in an aggressive manner and would not let her go. She also grabbed the victim by the neck, or he also grabbed the victim by the neck, pulling her closer to him. A neighbor eventually intervened and got the defendant off the victim. The officer noted there were no injuries. The officer noted that there is a history between these two individuals. He does have two open cases, Judge. As Mr. Howard said, he does have an open ag assault and an open battery. In the battery case, Your Honor ordered him to have no further violent contact with the victim. It's my understanding that this is the same victim in the ag assault as well. The state is recommending a $1,500 surety bond, a no further contact with the victim, anger awareness, a stay away from the incident location, and no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. Our office has not been in touch with the victim today. If we could sound for Miss Sierra Jacks.
If Ms. Jacks is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Does not appear so. Yes, Mr. Cooper.
Thank you, Judge. Before the court is Mr. Winston Andrews. Judge, this incident goes back about 4 months or so. Obviously, the prior two cases did involve Ms. Jacks as well. This was in the disillusion phase, I guess, of their relationship. Since that time, Mr. Andrews has significantly moved on with his life. We were actually in City of Atlanta Municipal Court trying to clear up a traffic issue yesterday when we were told that we were not allowed to leave because this warrant had popped up. Because Mr. Andrews had been out previously on pretrial, he had been checking in with them regularly, and we had no idea that this warrant was pending until we were in court and told that, that was an issue we needed to work through. So we are in the process of getting all this situated. Mr. Andrews is a professional basketball player who was playing on a contract up until recently. So we're trying to get everything situated with his cases going forward, get the treatment as we need, and get him situated. We would ask that you set a reasonable bond on the case, and we understand we've got some a new bond, I guess, to make on that old case, given pretrial coming off of it.
Okay. What, Mr. Howard or Mr. Essiano, when did I give him that a $5,000 pretrial bond previously?
It was last year.
December 4th of 23, Judge.
Oh, okay, so this offense date was well after the date that I gave him that. I
Correct.
believe that the request.
Well, actually, Judge, the incident date was about a month after, because this incident
Okay.
happened in January.
Right, so it was after the point in time where he came before me and I gave him that $5,000 signature bond previously.
Correct.
Is that correct? Okay.
That is correct.
All right, so he violated my bond order at that point in time. I think that the state is reasonable with a request of a $1,500 surety bond. So that'll be the order of the court. No further contact with Ms. Jacks. Stay away from the 1315 Northwest Drive address, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
And Your Honor, just so I can make sure, is pretrial coming out of that previous case?
That's what Mr. Howard has informed.
All right,
Yes,
thank you.
in our discussions with pretrial, that was made aware to us yesterday also.
I was
Okay.
And Your
asking
Honor, I
since,
would ask if you would consider anger awareness, since this is now the third case with the same victim. I believe that Your Honor actually ordered him to do anger awareness in his last case. A 1 day, we'd ask for a 2 day or FVIP at this point.
Do we know? Go ahead, Mr. Cooper.
Oh, it's my intention to get Mr. Andrews signed up with a full-blown FFIT program as soon as possible. So whatever the court thinks is most reasonable in that regard, I don't think there's any way of us getting around FFIP at this point, so we might as well get on it.
Okay, so with that said, I will order FFIP also. And do we know, Mr. Howard, if he did the anger awareness as I instructed prior?
I could call and ask.
Oh no, if you don't already know, since he's gonna do FFIP, I just wondered if he would have a check on his side if he had done it, but if we don't know whether or not he did it. Okay, if there's nothing further on anything further on Mr. Andrews?
Nothing from the state judge.
I don't believe so, Judge.
All right, anything further for this court, Mr. Cooper?
I don't believe so, Judge.
All right, you have a good rest of your day.
You too. Take care.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Mhm.
And before we go on, courtroom 2, let me just make the general announcement to everyone there, so I don't have to keep repeating it. Good afternoon, gentlemen. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video. If you have any objection to your case being heard by video, please make me aware when you come before me. You all have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have a right to an attorney. We are providing you with the services of a public defender today if you don't have a private attorney and choose to utilize their services. Who do I have before me now?
Yeah, position number 3, Mr. Arnold.
Okay, Mr. Arnold, good afternoon. You've been charged in case 24 CR 003158C with simple battery. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Fifth arrest. Last arrest was May 9th. Battery, terrorist threats out of the cab. It's open. Got an FTA from this year, 2021 simple possession. That's all.
Desiano?
Your Honor, this incident occurred August 27th of 2023. Officers responded to 585 McDaniel Street Southwest in Atlanta in reference to a fight. Upon arrival, officers made contact with the victim, Megan Fuller. Ms. Fuller advised that she has continuous issues with her neighbor that lives directly below her, which is the defendant. She stated she was woken up on the incident date by a loud banging on her door. She went to answer the door, and it was the defendant who was complaining about noise coming from her apartment. The victim tried to close the door when he rushed her, and he swung and struck her in the head and her upper body. When she went to call the police, the defendant went to her vehicle and tried to punch out the glass, but failed and later fled the scene. Our office has been in touch with the victim judge. She said she is the neighbor of the defendant. She stated that she still lives at the residence, but the defendant does not. She stated that the defendant has knocked on her door before and complained about noise, but this is the first time there's ever been a physical fight. She said that he also damaged the passenger side of the mirror on her vehicle. She wants no contact and for him to stay away. The state is recommending he does have an open battery out of Dunwoody. The state's asking for a $1,500 surety bond on the simple battery, no further contact with the victim, stay away from the incident location, anger awareness, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. And if we could sound for Ms. Megan Fuller.
See you there. The court, now is your opportunity to do so. You certainly don't have to, but if you would like to, you'll have to raise your right hand for me. Do you
Yes,
swear? Yes, ma'am. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, you can place your hand down, Ms. Fuller. What would you like to tell the court?
I just wanted to address the simple battery charge. My children were present, and it was told to me, and what I understand is that a child endangerment charge should have been added as well, because I had 3 children under the age of 18 that all witnessed, and I had 2 14-year-olds that had to assist me in getting him off of me.
Okay, anything further, Ms. Fuller?
No. Well, as far as, I'm sorry, the cash, I was trying to see if I could request him not a cash bond, no cash bond. I don't know. I know they said that I could have the option of no violent contact or no contact at all. Of course, I want no contact at all, but because of his history, I am asking if you would consider no cash bond.
Okay, you probably want me to issue a cash bond because a cash bond is more, you have to pay cash as opposed to going through a surety.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
No, you're fine, Ms. Fuller. And you made the state aware of your children, so the solicitor's on the line and they are listening to your request as well, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank-
You're welcome. Thank you for being here, Ms. Fuller.
All right.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Cook.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Your Honor, my client is 29 years old. He's a lifelong resident of Metro Atlanta. He denies the charges or the allegations as stated in the warrant. He would have no objection to a no further contact with the alleged victim. We would object to the anger awareness. The stay away is fine unless it entails not going back to his apartment, which is, I know sometimes we hear 200 yards. Well, there aren't many apartments that far apart, so he should be allowed to go back to his apartment with a no further contact. And again, we would object to the anger awareness, and we would be seeking a signature bond at whatever level the court deems appropriate.
Does he still live at the McDaniel Street address, Mr. Cook?
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I'll let him answer, but I think he's moved to a Decatur. Is that correct, Mr. Arnold?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's
Okay.
that's no longer relevant. Thank you.
All right, so he shouldn't need to go back there. So it's gonna be $1,000 surety bond, no further contact with Megan Fuller, stay away from the McDaniel Street address, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond.
Excuse me.
I apologize, Judge. I was reading a chat from records. Can you give me the bond again, please?
I can, $1,000 surety. Do you need the conditions? Ms. Strong,
I'm sorry.
is that all you needed? Did you need the conditions?
Yes, I need everything, please.
Okay, $1,000 surety, stay away from the McDaniel Street address. No further contact with Ms. Fuller, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you. And can I address records? Are you speaking of Mr. Arnold that has the cruelty to children?
Yes.
That was an OD.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, this is courtroom 2. I was gonna ask the same question. He had another charge on this.
Yes, it was NOD because as we all know, a cruelty to children cannot go with a simple battery. So
Yeah, I
that's
had to
NOD
downgrade
that-
it from a battery to a simple battery because the warrant said there were no visible injuries.
Correct.
Okay, anything further on Mr. Arnold this afternoon?
Nothing from the state.
Okay, if not, good luck to you all.
All right, next we have position number 5. Position number 5, Mr. Bradham.
Good afternoon, Mr. Brabham. You have been charged in case 24 CR 003162G with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
No person.
Ms. Sessiano?
Incident occurred May 20th, 2024. Officers responded to 3900 Fulton Industrial Boulevard Southwest regarding a dispute. Upon arrival, officers met with the victim, Ms. Kiana Brown. Ms. Brown advised that she and the defendant have a child together. She said on the incident date, she went through the defendant's cell phone and found out that he was messaging other women. She confronted the defendant and he became violent, slapping her and grabbing her arms. The officer noted the victim had bruises and scratches on both of her arms. Our office has not been in touch with the victim today. It is his first arrest, so the state's recommending a signature bond through pretrial and no further contact with the victim, a stay away from the incident location, anger awareness, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. And if we could sound for Ms. Kiana Brown.
Ms. Kiana is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Mr. Cook?
Yes, okay. Yes, Your Honor. My client denies allegations as stated in the warrant. We would be looking for a signature bond through the jail would object to anger awareness. We have no objection to a no further contact or a stay away provision. I'm looking at my notes on the child. We would be seeking a third party transfer for visitation with the child.
Okay, it'll be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further contact with Kiana Brown. Stay away from the Fulton Industrial address. Third party transfer of the minor child for visitation, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Graham.
All right, next we'll do positions 14 and 15. Mr. Pierre?
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Pierre. You have been charged in case 24 CR 0031658 with simple battery, and in case 24 CR 0031668 with simple battery. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Yeah, hold on. He got that from 2004. 17 total. Got an open battery in state court. It's 24 CR 0000904H. That's your bond. That's a 3,000 pretrial bond. I think it was no further contact with Jeffrey Biggers. Got an open case in Chambly for shoplifting, on probation for theft by taking in state court. 2023 FTA, 2019 probation, 2017 ag assault conviction, damage to property conviction, and that 04 arrest.
Yes, Your Honor. In his first case, which was a simple battery, I just want to make the court aware that I did amend the accusation to reflect the accurate victim, whose name is Jeffrey Biggers. As you heard from pretrial, he's already out on bond for a violent case with the same victim. But in this, he had a disagreement with Mr. Biggers at 20 Wall Street, and he sprayed Mr. Biggers with mace. We are asking for a $2,500 surety bond. Again, a no further contact, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. Do you want me to proceed to the next case, or do you want to?
No, let's go on to the next one. Thank you.
In the next case, the victim's name is Derek Morris. This happened at 50 Upper Alabama Road. Him and Mr. Morris were in a disagreement. He took his shoe off and smacked Mr. Morris with his shoe. We are asking for a $1,500 surety bond, no contact with Mr. Derek Morris, a stay away from the incident location, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. And of course, we'll be requesting that pretrial comes off of that pretrial bond with Mr. Biggers as well.
Mr. Biggers or Mr. Morris are on the line and wish to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Okay. Is this your case, Ms. McLeod?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Yes, it is.
Okay, good afternoon. Yes, you can proceed.
Your Honor, my client is 43 years old. He is currently homeless. I understand that he has some MH issues, Your Honor, which needs to be addressed. He tells me that he is receiving treatment for that, but he currently doesn't have any kind of stable employment, and he tells me that he is being housed by Mercy Care. Your Honor, my client is not in a position to pay for bond, so anything short of a signature bond is essentially going to be no bond for him. So I would ask the court to take that into consideration in setting his bond. Nothing further.
Thank you. Ms. Strong, let me see if we can, let us see if we can place all these cases on that June 4th SAP calendar if we can. So I'm not sure if you can Mr. Howard, if you wouldn't mind putting that number in the chat to Ms. Strong so that she has a number of that other case. I've already given him a signature bond one time before. I don't feel comfortable giving him another signature bond with accusations that are similar. So for each charge, it will be $1,000 surety bond. Position 14, $1,000 surety bond. I would like for him to have a social worker visit. Ms. McLeod, if we can get someone to assist, one of the public defenders maybe to assist with that social worker visit. I want to see if we can get him some housing if possible. And if I'm on that calendar and he comes before me, I'll reconsider the bond at that time if he has some housing or if he has some or once I get a report from a social worker. So on position 14, it'll be $1,000 surety bond, no further contact with Mr. Biggers, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. I don't think there was a stay away, was there, Mr. Walker?
Yeah, so for the first case, the stay away was 20 Wall Street. I'm sorry,
What was
20 Wall Street. And then the second stay away was 50 Upper Alabama Road.
Okay. And what do you know what 20 Wall Street is?
It didn't give a description. It's just gave an address as to the altercation.
Your Honor, my client tells me that the most recent altercation took place at the MARTA station at 5 Points. I don't know if that's the address.
Is that 50 Upper Alabama Road?
I don't think that's Upper Alabama Road. The warrant said Upper Alabama Road, but Alabama Road, that's the MARTA, yes.
Okay.
And 20 Wall Street is the same location as his last case with Mr. Biggers.
Okay, so he's to stay away from the 20 Wall Street case. And no drugs, alcohol, weapons, and that's on position 14. Position 15, also $1,000 surety bond. No further contact with Derek Morris. Stay away from 50 Upper Alabama Road. And no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond with a social worker visit also.
Thank you.
Okay?
And Judge, Wall Street is just a block up from 5 Points. That's yeah, it's just a
okay.
block up. Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Pierre.
So, Your Honor, it's $1,000 on both 14 and 15?
Yes, $1,000 on each.
Okay.
Okay.
30, yep. All right, you all set. Next we'll go with position number 6, Mr. Bullard.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bullard. You've been charged in case 24 CR 003171E with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
32. He had a couple of trespasses from last year, probation. He got a lot of trespassing in his history. So jail.
Okay. Yesiana?
Yes, Judge. This incident
Excuse
took
me,
place on
I'm
October
sorry, Miss-
17th, 2023.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, someone talking?
Yeah, it was Keith Cook. I thought I had a message he was accepted to pad. Is that incorrect?
I referred it to Pad, but I thought because he had an FTA.
So he was referred to PAD, but he has 2 FTAs and he's not going to be able to be released. We can just do a signature bond because he's not PAD eligible.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Judge, this incident happened October 17th, 2023. He was at the Southwest Liquor Store at 2100 Campbellton Road Southwest, standing in front of the business. The owner came out and a cop was patrolling there, and he told him that he had previously issued him a criminal trespass warning. I was going to recommend, because he does have the FTAs and those need to be addressed, and I believe that would make him ineligible for pretrial, just a signature bond through the jail, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while on bond.
Any objection to any of that, Mr. Cook?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, so it'll be $1,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the Campbellton Road address. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you.
Good luck to you, Mr. Bullard.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome, sir.
You're all set. Next, we'll have position number 7, Mr. Hunt.
Good afternoon, Mr. Hunt. You've been charged in case 24CR003163J with battery family violence. Is there a history?
4 total. I saw a 2023 battery DV arrest and some driving and theft. This was level 2.
Your Honor, this incident took place on May 20th, 2024. Officers responded to the Travel Lodge at 2471 Old National Highway in College Park in reference to a dispute. Upon arrival, they spoke with the victim, Miss Kiani Green, who advised that she and her boyfriend lived together and they got into a verbal dispute because the defendant was being aggressive and she was trying to get him to leave. The dispute escalated when the defendant began choking the victim, scratching her. The victim had multiple red marks and abrasions on her neck consistent with being scratched and choked. Our office has not been in touch with her today. We are possibly in the process of upgrading this case to a felony. At this point, the state's recommending a $2,500 surety bond, a no further contact with the victim, stay away from the incident location, and her residence if it's not the Travel Lodge, anger awareness, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol out on bond. He does have an open battery DV in DeKalb. I cannot confirm if it's the same victim or not. And we'll sound for Miss Kiani Green.
Ms. Green is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Afternoon, Ms. Atai.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Your Honor, my client is only 20 years old. He has lived in Georgia all his life. He does deny the allegations as stated in the warrant and states that the complaining witness was the first aggressor. I wasn't able to get in touch with the complaining witness, but they don't live together. He's fine with no further contact, and the stay away from the Travel Lodge. He does live with his mother, Your Honor, and he is recommended for a pretrial bond at level 2. So I would ask for a signature bond through pretrial services at level 2 with the no further contact and stay away.
Does he need to go back to that travel lodge to obtain any of his belongings or not?
He may need to, Your Honor. I'm not sure. It just happened yesterday, so possibly a one-time law enforcement escort.
Okay. It will be a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2. No further contact with Kiani Green. Stay away from the Travel Lodge on Old National Highway. He can go back there on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that he might have there. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Hunt.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next, we'll have position number 8, Mr. Ingram.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ingram. You have been charged in case 24CR003167J with battery family violence, fleeing or attempting to elude a police officer, driving under the influence of alcohol, failure to maintain lane, and failure to obey traffic signs, signals, and law codes. Their history, Mr. Howard?
14. Got a possession of a Schedule 1 and trespass open out of Gwinnett. 2017 probation, 2016 battery DV, cruelty in the third, that's NOLO. 2015 probation, 2014 trespass, NOLO.
Judge, this incident took place May 19th, 2024. Officers responded to 385 Harlan Road Southwest in reference to a domestic dispute. Upon arrival, officers made contact with the victim, Johnny Ingram. Mr. Ingram advised that he and his son, who's the defendant, were arguing when the defendant pushed him in the back, causing him to fall on a dining room table, injuring his left eyebrow and left leg. Officer noted that he was bleeding. He had a cut eyebrow and scrapes down his leg. At the time, the victim said that the defendant was intoxicated and he was sitting in a Dodge Ram in front of the incident location. While the officer was inside speaking with the victim, officers outside the incident location observed the defendant drive off, failed to maintain his lane, and ran 2 stop signs. The defendant did not stop after the officer activated his blue lights, and he was eventually apprehended. Our office has been in touch with the victim. He says that he's the father of the defendant. He's 70 years old. He stated that the defendant has a drinking problem and he becomes angry when he drinks. He said that he's had verbal altercations in the past, but this is the first time that it's been physical, but he wants no contact and wants him to stay away. The state's recommending a split bond on this case, Judge, a $2,500 surety bond on count 1, a $1,000 surety bond on count 2, and then a signature bond through pretrial on counts 3, 4, and 5. And no further contact with the victim, a stay away from the incident location, anger awareness, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while on bond, and if we could sound for Johnny Ingram.
Mr. Johnny Ingram is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so.
Yes, hello?
Yes,
Yes.
Mr. Ingram. Let's see. Can you activate your camera for me?
Okay, yes.
All right, very good, sir. And if you can raise your right hand for me. Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can place your hand down, Mr. Ingram. What would you like to tell the court?
I'll tell the court he needs some help. He needs some anger management help. He needs a psychiatric evaluation too, and he has an alcohol problem, and this is recurrent. It continues to be recurrent, going back a number of years. That's all I request.
Okay. And it's my understanding that you do not wish to have contact with him at the present time, and you wish for him to stay away from
Well, he can
from your home.
he can come get his belongings. I have a third party individual over here that'll help him with that. I won't be present because
Okay.
I don't want to have any contact with him now.
Okay.
You know, there's a trust issue here, and I can't get by that right now.
All right, very good. Thank you for being here this afternoon, Mr. Ingram. We appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Yes, Ms. Atai.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 43 years old. He is the father to 3 minor children, 14, 9, and 7. He does have 2 jobs. He runs a trucking service and he works for Prestige Farms. He has lived in Georgia for 22 years. He's graduated from high school. He has an associate's degree. He doesn't have any recent violent history. The last thing I heard was more than 8 years old. I hear the recommendation from pretrial, but I think he is recommended for a pretrial bond. And the state has asked for a signature bond through pretrial services for 3, 4, and 5. So I would ask also for a pretrial services bond on the battery and the driving and fleeing or attempting to elude. He does deny the allegations as stated in the warrant, and states that he was in the driveway the entire time. The warrant states it was a push. So, I think due to the nature of the allegations here, he should qualify for a signature bond.
Okay. These will all be signature bonds through pretrial level 3. For the battery, it's a $2,000 signature bond. For the fleeing, $1,000 signature bond. The DUI, $1,000 signature bond. Failure to maintain lane, $500 signature bond. Failure to obey traffic signs, $500 signature bond. Makes for a total of a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial level 3. He used to have random alcohol and drug screens. If he fails any of those drug or alcohol screens, this bond is to be withdrawn. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. No further contact with Mr. Ingram. Stay away from the incident location. He can go back to that home on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that he might have there. And I think that takes care of it. Okay. I'm giving you the opportunity to get out, Mr. Harlan Ingram. But if you fail any of those alcohol or drug screens, you're going to be right back where you are. Good luck to you, sir.
Next, we'll have position number 16, Mr. Prince.
Good afternoon, Mr. Prince. You have been charged in case 24 CR 003168F with reckless conduct and discharge of a firearm on and near a highway or street. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
2022 hindering, dismiss. 2021 disorderly conduct. Jail was a recommendation.
Yes, Sharon, in this case, law enforcement was dispatched to the intersection of 10th and Piedmont. Due to shots being fired, they spoke with the defendant. He advised that an individual approached him with a ski mask and that he was not certain of the individual's motive, so he put out his firearm and discharged it into the air. Of course, the state is concerned because this happened at 4 p.m. in the middle of the day at a busy intersection, and we are asking for a $10,000 surety bond to the discharge of a firearm, and then a signature bond through pretrial services on the reckless conduct. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond, and stay away from the intersection.
Yes, good afternoon, Ms. Kim.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My client, Mr. Prince, is 25 years old, and Your Honor, he is actually gainfully employed as a chef. He works 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. 5 days a week. He also has a child, 2 months old, and he is actually living with him, supporting him, and mother of a child. Your Honor, I believe that this was a self-defense, and we would like to request for signature on bond through jail, as he is recommended for UJR per pretrial service, and he does not have much of history, criminal history. He has 12th grade education, and he works hard. I believe his auntie and his mother are on the Zoom to support him. We would like to request for signature on bond. Thanks.
Okay, do you know, if they, I don't know the names, Ms. Kim, so if you say that he has some support somewhere, do you know who that support is coming from and what the names are that I should sound for?
Auntie, his auntie and his mother, Vidya Lazila, I believe.
Okay, is anyone on the line, that would like to speak on behalf of, Mr. Prince this afternoon? If so, I'm gonna have to have you unmute yourself and I'll have to swear you in.
Yeah. Yes, good afternoon. I'm Renee James, his mom.
Okay, good afternoon, Ms. James. Can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you
Yes,
swear
sir.
affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can place your hand down. What would you like to tell the court, ma'am?
Well, at this point, I'm just begging on his behalf, because he really, really, really do needs to be able to help with his son. He has a job that he has to be there. I'm just hoping that he could get out rather than his
Okay,
recognition. He's not a troubled person like that. Um, I don't know what else to say at this point.
thank you for being here this afternoon, ma'am. Let's see. For the reckless conduct, it'll be a $10,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. For the discharge of a firearm, a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1 makes for a total of a $12,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. Gun safety class, he is to surrender any weapons that he currently has, and also no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. And a request to stay away from the 10th and Piedmont intersection will be granted also.
This per judge.
Per judge. All right, good luck to you, Mr. Prince.
Thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Position number 17, Mr. Sango.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sango. Let's see, you've been charged in case 24 CR 003169A with battery. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
It's first arrest. He's homeless.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 930 Spring Street on the Georgia Tech's campus. They met with the victim, Mr. Joshua Cox. He advised that he and Mr. Sango were in a disagreement that turned physical, where he punched Mr. Cox in the face. We are asking for a signature bond through the jail, a stay away from the incident location, no contact with the victim, Mr. Joshua Cox, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while on bond. I'm not sure if Mr. Cox is present, but we would sound for the victim, Mr. Joshua Cox.
Mr. Cox is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Doesn't appear so. Any objection to anything that the state is requesting, Ms. Kim?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with Mr. Cox. Stay away from the 930 Spring Street location, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Ms. Kim, if we can get him a social worker visit also, so that we can possibly assist him with housing before, so to help him, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor. But I want to make sure that that's not a condition to be released. He can be released first.
No, he can be released, but I still would like him to have some type of service to help him.
Yes, thank
All
you.
right. Good luck to you, Mr. Sango.
Next we have position number 18, Mr. Stafford.
Good afternoon, Mr. Stafford. You have been charged in case 24 CR 003173F with simple battery, family violence, and pointing or aiming a gun or pistol at another. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Third, 2020 DUI, 2015 DUI.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 1295 Marcy Street, where they met with both parties. I believe that this was the dual arrest. The victim in this matter, his name is Stephen Cancel. He was not on our pull sheet today, so he's not on today's calendar. But he advised to the officer that he and the defendant are in a relationship. They've been in a relationship for around 3 years. They were having a very heated verbal disagreement when this defendant pushed Mr. Stephen Cancel and then withdrew his handgun and pointed it at Mr. Cancel. The state is asking for a $10,000 surety bond for pointing a pistol at another. To the simple battery, family violence, we are asking for a signature bond through pretrial services. No contact with the victim. Stay away from the incident location. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond.
Cloud,
Yes, Your Honor.
is this your case?
It is. We are not opposed to the signature bond, Your Honor. My understanding is that the parties are engaged. They have been living together for quite some time, and it was a dual arrest. My client informs me that he would like to continue to have contact with the alleged victim, who is also the cross-defendant, Your Honor, and that would be what we would be asking the court. He tells me that he does not have anywhere else to live.
See, given the allegations and that this only recently occurred, Ms. McLeod, I do not feel comfortable letting them have contact at the present time. The Marcy Street address, do they both live at that address?
They both live at that address, Your Honor, but I believe the other gentleman's name is in the lease.
Okay. So for the simple battery, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, level 1. For the pointing the gun, a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. 1 day anger awareness, relinquish all weapons that he might have. No further contact with Mr. Stephen Cancel. Stay away from the Marcy Street address. He can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that he might have there. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck to you, Mr. Stafford.
Next we have position number 19, Mr. Conley.
Good afternoon, Mr. Townley. You have been charged in case 24 CR 003172B with driving while your license was suspended or revoked, expired, and no registration and no insurance. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
2024 suspended license. Got an open DUI and suspended license out of Hateville. On probation in Henry County for suspended license. 2023 probation, 2020, 2019 DUI, 2017 suspended license, 2015 suspended license, no lower.
Yes, Your Honor. So obviously this should be a felony. We're in the process of collecting all those dispositions so we can send it to the DA's office. But in the interim, the officer spotted the defendant sleep behind the wheel at, Washington Road and Camp Creek Boulevard. Once they made contact with the defendant, they determined that he did not have a license. His registration was expired and no insurance. I understand this is not a DUI, but I'm curious as to why he would sleep behind the wheel. But nonetheless, to the count of driving with a suspended license, we are asking for a $2,500 surety bond. To counts 2 and 3 for the no registration and no insurance, we're asking for a $500 surety bond. In total, that will be a $3,500 surety bond. At this point, no driving. Most of his history is DUIs or driving with a suspended license. And again, he would sleep behind the wheel. No weapon, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond.
Let's see, who's representing Mr. Townley?
Yeah.
How
And
is my client, Your Honor?
say it again?
This is my client, Kevin Townley, right?
Yes, and the gentleman that's here on, before you go on, Ms. Kim, just let me acknowledge the gentleman that's here on the iPhone. Who, are you here on this case, sir?
I'm sorry. I'm his dad. I apologize.
Oh, no, you're fine, sir. What's your name?
I'm Kevin Townley Sr.
Okay, Mr. Townley, Ms. Kim, I'm gonna come back to you. I'll have Mr. Townley address the court first if he chooses to do so. Mr. Townley, if you can raise your right hand for me. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Nothing but the truth.
Okay, thank you, sir. You can place your hand down. And what would you like to tell me about your son?
Yeah, my son has a drinking problem. That's his whole thing. He is going to get behind the wheel, any wheel, if he's drinking, and he doesn't, I think he need to me, and I've told him 150 times, he needs to go to some type of place where he can get drink.
I would like to object. I sincerely apologize, but I have to object because it has nothing to do with these cases, Your Honor. We have no DUI allegation at this
I didn't
point.
say that. I'm sorry.
I just asked that the victims that the witnesses are allowed to testify freely. I understand that you don't like his testimony, but I don't like a lot of testimony, but that doesn't mean it's not relevant.
Okay, so hold on, Ms. Kim. Everybody knows that I allow anyone that wants to say something to me to be able to address me, whether it's on one side or the other, so I can get a full understanding of what's going on, unless it's something that we need to go into a breakout room with. I think that Mr. Townley's fine so far. So go ahead, Mr. Townley. What
I'm
else?
sorry.
No, you don't have to
my
be
son,
sorry. Go ahead.
my son's a good person. I did 21 years in the military. Actually, I'm still a soldier. I'm always going to be one. And I've seen people like him. I just think he needs help. And once he gets help, he's going to be all right because he's a really good person. That ain't the problem. It's just that he just has a problem with that stuff. And, I've been talking to him. He knows. So, that's all I really want to say. I love my son and he knows that. And I just want the good things to happen for him, So.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you being here this afternoon. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You're
Your
welcome.
Honor, and the state would just like to modify his request to add an ADET for obvious reasons.
Okay. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. My client, Mr. Townley, is 37 years old, Your Honor, and he is proud father of two children, 13 and 7. Actually, there's one more child. I'm sorry, I misread my note. 3 children total. One is 20 years. And Your Honor, he is gainfully employed. He has 2 jobs, Your Honor. FedEx, and he also works at County warehouse as well. He's a hard worker. He always provides for his children. We would like to request for a signature on bond, as his father said he is a very good person, and this is just setback. He is actually going to court on May 28th, next Tuesday. He's scheduled to address issues about his driving DSS, I mean, Department of Driving Services. He's going to fix all this. Thank you.
Okay, so Ms. Kim, if I give him a signature bond through pretrial, I'm also going to require that he get random alcohol and drug screens, and I'm also going to require that he do the ADET. So I'm concerned about the number of times that he's been out driving on a suspended license and his entire the history that he has, but I do want to see if we can get him some help. So for the driving on a suspended license, it's going to be a $1,500 signature bond through pretrial level 3. For the expired and no registration, a $250 signature bond through pretrial level 3. For the no insurance, a $250 signature bond through pretrial level 3. Makes for a total of a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 3 per judge if necessary.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
And just so I'm clear, all these decisions that I make are per judge. So if you want to put per judge on each and every one of them, that's fine with me. No driving without a valid license, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond, ADET, and random alcohol and drug screens. I'm going to give you the opportunity, Mr. Townley, to get out. But if you violate any of these conditions, you'll be right back where you are today. Okay? All right. Good luck to you all. Thank you for being here this afternoon, Mr. Townley. Who do we have next?
Next we have Mr. Nixon. He's number 1 on the add-on calendar.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Nixon. Let's see. You've been charged in case 24 CR 003175J with battery family violence. Is there a history?
14. Got open obstruction out of Fulton. 2018 battery DV dismissed. 2015 given false name conviction. 2012 probation.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 401 Bill Kennedy Way, where they met with the victim, Tynika Lewis. She advised that the defendant came over to her house. He was trying to force his way into the home. He pushed the door open, hitting her in the face. I believe that they have a child together, and this is her home. And she also has advised to our victim advocate that he has been harassing her since this incident. The state is asking for a $3,000 surety bond, no contact with the victim, a stay away from the incident location. She also is asking for a stay away. I believe it's the children's school, and that's 1093 West Avenue. I believe Ms. Lewis may be on the line, so I would sound for the victim at this time.
Ms. Tanika Lewis is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Doesn't appear so, Mr. Walker.
Okay.
Let's see, Ms. Kim.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Nixon is 40 years old, and Your Honor, he's gainfully employed. He works as a traffic control flaggers, and also he has a GED. He has 2 children with her, I believe, 17 and 16. So he would like to have a third-party transfer, definitely. He's okay with a stay away and no further contact. However, he strongly prefers to have a no further violent contact. It was accidental. There was no intention to have any kind of harm or anything like that. When he opened the door, it was the door that hit his lady, not himself. So we actually we deny the allegation that is written here in the warrant. He's got the court on June 4, 2024 for that, I guess, obstruction case that he has to take care of. Other than that, we would like to request for a signature on bond through pretrial, whichever level you deem to be appropriate. Even though it is level 3, we strongly prefer that. Thank you, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, just to make clear, the victim advised to our victim advocate that she was trying to lock the door to prevent him from coming into her home, and he pushed the door in knowing that she was behind it. And she specifically stated to the advocate that she was concerned for her safety and her children's safety, which is the reason why she asked for a stay away from their residence and the children's school. I don't have any evidence that he's been legitimated or that he has any type of custody plan in place. So since she is asking for a stay away from the home and the school, we're asking for no third-party contact because the children were home during this incident. And he has been harassing her since this incident occurred. And that was per the victim.
We deny the allegation, Your Honor. There was no harassment.
Okay. Mr. Nixon, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. I'm sure Ms. Kim would advise you that I'm happy to let you speak with her if you want to talk with her before I make my ruling, but you do have a right to remain silent, and I'm sure that she would ask that you do so at this time, okay? All right, thank you, Mr. Nixon. It will be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Ms. Lewis, stay away from the incident location, abide by any pre-existing custody arrangements, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Let me make it clear to you, Mr. Lewis, what no further contact means. It means absolutely no contact. No phone contact, of course, no personal contact, no social media contact, no texting, no emailing, no contact whatsoever. You understand me? All right, very good, Mr. Nixon. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Who do we have next?
That's all we have in our courtroom too.
Okay, are we going somewhere? Are we going to the South Annex?
We're waiting for ACDC to log on.
Okay.
And Your Honor, we had Pedagay Mellis on the poll sheet this morning, and I don't see her on the calendar.
I NOD'd it, Mrs. Atai.
I didn't see that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
What was the level on Nixon?
Hmm.
You said 2, Judge?
Yes, Ms. Strong.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I also saw Mr. Chenault back on the poll sheet. I think he went to felony yesterday, so I assume that was just a mistake.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
He should have gone to first appearance today.
Today.
Felony.
Thank you.
Okay, court will be in recess until
Do we want to reconcile the calendar to the ACDC comms?
They're signing on now, Judge.
okay.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Yes, Dr. Lynn.
I was told that I needed to be present for a 2 p.m. hearing with Jasmine Atkinson.
Yes, is that I have a Brianna Atkinson.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, she is she's with our females probably, and they're probably here right now. Okay.
Okay.
So she should be up momentarily.
Now her brother is outside trying to get in. I'm not sure if I can.
You mean he's in outside as in the waiting room to get on the Zoom
No,
call?
he's outside of our home and he's trying to get
Okay.
in. Well, I think he might interrupt things if I let him in.
Okay. Well, we'll see where she is and we'll be with you.
Okay.
Your Honor.
Thank
Good
you.
afternoon.
Okay. Afternoon, Officer Milton.
Position number 1, Ms. Atkinson.
Okay. Good afternoon, Ms. Atkinson. And just for all the the ladies that are there, let me address you all at the same time. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. If you have any objection to your case being heard by video, please let me know when you come before me. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have a right to have an attorney present at these proceedings. We're providing with you with the assistance of a public defender today if you choose to utilize their services. Ms. Atkinson, you have been charged in case 24 CR 003155B with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Second, 2019 driving without a license.
Okay.
Your Honor,
Stesiano?
this incident took place on May 20th, 2024. Officers responded to 3825 Branch Road Southwest in reference to a dispute. Upon arrival, officers met with the victim, who advised that his niece, the defendant, and him were in an argument, and the defendant struck him in the face 3 times, leaving red marks and bruises on his eye. The defendant and the victim lived together, or I believe formerly lived together. This is a pretty bare bones warrant, Judge, but I do want to clarify one little thing because I believe the victims are going to bring it up. So I believe that the victim's sister lives with him. Her name is Francine Lynn, and it's my understanding that she may have a TPO against the defendant, and she was at the residence when this happened. Now, she brought that up to the police, and they checked through, I forget the name of the program where they check the TPOs, but in any event, it didn't come through on GCIC. They couldn't confirm that the TPO was issued. I myself have looked at the TPO, and I have not added a charge for violating a family violence order at this point because the TPO has a different name. I believe she may go by a different name, Jasmine. But at this point, I wasn't able to confirm that that's the same person. So at this point, she is only charged with the battery. Our office has been in touch with the victim. He's also on the line. He's the uncle of the defendant. He confirmed the events in the warrant. He did say there's a TPO in place. The defendant was ordered to stay away from the residence. She came unannounced and uninvited. He stated that the defendant has vandalized his residence and is very violent. He wants no contact and wants her to stay away from the residence. At this point, Your Honor, this is her second arrest. Her first arrest is traffic. So the state's recommending a signature bond through pretrial, a no further contact with the victim, a stay away from the incident location, anger awareness, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. And if we could sound for Dr. Lynn.
So you didn't name the victim, so I assume that it's Thaddeus Lynn.
Yes, Lynn Kedron is his name.
Say it again.
Lynn Kedron. I believe he's who was just speaking.
Okay, well, that has a different name.
Yeah, that has a different name.
So spell the last name of who I need to have on the paperwork.
Kedron.
Okay. Now, Mr. Lynn, is this, you have Thaddeus, who is Kedron? Is it Kedron Lynn?
Yes, Your Honor, my full name is Thaddeus, Thaddeus. My middle name is Kedron, Kedron. My last name is Lynn, Lynn. And Jasmine Brianna Atkinson is on the TPO.
Okay, and all right, so let's see, Dr. Lynn, if you would like to address the court, I'll need for you to raise your right hand for me. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Do, Your Honor.
Okay, you can place your hand down, sir. What would you like to tell the court?
I am a physician to the communities I've served for 25 years, and I've served people of all walks of life. I've interacted with all types of people. I have no intentions of being disruptive at any time with anyone. I'm a peaceful person. Patients rely on my medical assistance and advice. Patients expect me to be at my post to render medical assistance in their time of need. I am a loving brother, and I care for my sister and our home. I have tried to help and counsel Jasmine, and she has not been cooperative. She has vandalized our home and utilized our home for her own selfish reasons, braiding hair and selling food from our home, running a business called Jazz Nails, which can be found on the internet with our home address, bringing uninvited people and animals into our home all hours of the morning, day, and night. The more I tried to help her, the worse her behavior became. I have found her marijuana and drug paraphernalia in our home. She has exhibited unpredictable and explosive outbursts that make me feel unsafe in her presence and a real possibility that she would harm me physically. She has threatened to do me harm. She has threatened to burn down our home if she can't stay here. She contributes nothing for the benefit and operation of our home or the persons that live here. We had a caretaker in the home to promote a peaceful living environment, but due to Jasmine's belligerent behavior and exhibited false entitlement, she ran the woman away. Jasmine keeps our home, chaotic and supercharged with intense stress due to her bullying, unpredictable threats, and mood changes. Jasmine Atkinson has violated her TPO order on April 10, that was ordered on April 10, 2024. She has come to our home with police escort Sunday, May 19th, 2024, to retrieve her belongings. She has walked into our home Monday, May 20, 2024, and assaulted me by striking my left orbital or eye socket 3 times with her closed fist, bruising my left third digit. I have left knee pain due to left knee trauma, and it's difficult for me to walk. I beseech no further contact, anger awareness, drug and alcohol screening, psychological assessment, no weapons, and the maximum assurity bond. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you for being here this afternoon, Dr. Lynn. Let's see, does she have any additional belongings in your household at the present time?
For some reason, she wants to leave something so that she can come back and create chaos and just terrible stuff. She might. I think she was here Sunday and she left 4 or 5 items. Really don't amount to anything. I don't know why she left them. She had her boyfriend Patrick Major come yesterday and retrieve her dog. So I don't know why he didn't take her few things that were left Sunday with him.
Okay, thank you, sir. Yes, Mr. Cook.
Yes,
You're welcome.
may I inquire of the witness, Your Honor, just briefly?
Of course, Mr. Cook, go ahead.
Okay. Were you in fact on the incident date? Were you engaged in a fight with her brother?
Sorry, Your Honor, is he speaking to me? Am I allowed
Yes.
to speak?
Yes, go ahead.
No, sir, I was not engaged in any fight. I came from my medical clinic around 4, 5 o'clock yesterday and found her brother using a crowbar to pry open a burglar door that we have installed in this home for almost 40 years. And Jasmine walked into the den while I was holding the crowbar with both hands and uh, and started commotion. And I informed her at that time that she has a TPO order and she's not supposed to be on the premises. And then she instructed her brother to go upstairs to the attic door and try to pry that door open. And when I was up there with both hands on the crowbar, trying to prevent him from doing that, she walked up the stairs and she struck me in my left eye 3 times with her closed fist. She could have caused me severe vision problems. I need my vision to do my job.
Yes. Okay. Was there some dispute in December over the ownership of the house regarding perhaps the wishes of a grandmother who passed away?
No, sir. There is no confusion in anyone's mind. There is a trust. This home And all real property in this home is in that trust. And the trust clearly says that I am the owner.
All right,
And I
that's
have
all.
those documents, and she has those documents as well.
Okay, no further questions. Thank you.
Your Honor, there seems to be some confusion with the names. Can we just confirm what the defendant's legal name is? Because they're saying it's Jasmine Brianna. I have Brianna Jasmine. I just think we need to probably clear that up on the jail side and everyone.
Mr. Cook, what's your client's name?
All I can go by is the paperwork, and so I was never prompted to ask if that was correct. What I have is Brianna, Breana Atkinson, Adkinson.
Is her first name Jasmine?
All I don't know. I didn't inquire because I
Well, can
had
we
no reason
inquire?
to.
Can we inquire now?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay,
Miss
Ms. Atkins, go ahead, Mr. Cook.
Miss Atkinson, what is your first name?
Jasmine, Jasmin.
Jasmine.
No E.
Okay, Jasmin, Jasmine.
Yeah.
And Brianna is your middle name?
Yes, sir.
Breana?
Brean.
Okay. And your last name is Adkinson?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right, so that's, all right. Anything further, Mr. Cook?
Nothing further, Your Honor. Well, yes, I'd like to address, it's my understanding that, my client has accepted a job in Houston as a cook and would be leaving for that city, tomorrow if she can make her flight. We would be asking for an SOB to whatever a level the court deems appropriate, and we would object to the anger awareness requirement. I still have a lot of questions about, and which will have to be settled somewhere down the road about the whole ownership of the property and who was fighting whom. And it's a little, the warrant didn't even get the names right, so I think I have a right to be a little bit,
Excuse me, but it looks like Vantonia is spamming. She's spamming the court session.
Just to
What's going on? I'm sorry, I'm not sure what's going on. What
I didn't understand.
Someone named Vantonia is filming the court session with a cell phone.
I don't know of Antonia, but if it's related to the case, I'll leave that up to the judge.
I don't think people are allowed to film, so I think the
I
deputies.
just
Oh,
removed.
filming. I'm sorry. I didn't know that's what you said. No, we certainly don't. That's still up to the judge. We're not thinking people are allowed to film.
I just
Right.
removed them, Judge.
Okay.
Thank you all. Let's see. Anything further from anyone on this?
Nothing.
Okay, so it's going to be a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. If she leaves the state, I will allow her to report by phone. 1 day anger awareness. No further contact with Mr. Thaddeus Lynn. Stay away from the Branch Road address. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. If you go back to that Branch Road address, Ms. Atkinson, you will be in violation of this bond order. If you have any contact with Dr. Lynn whatsoever, you'll be in violation of this bond order and it will be revoked. No contact means absolutely no contact. No phone contact, no email contact, no personal contact, no internet contact, no contact whatsoever. Good luck to all of you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, what was the dollar amount?
$5,000 signature bond through pretrial. Okay, who do we have next?
Before we continue, position number 9, Ms. Jones is a medical reset.
Okay, we will reset Ms. Jones until tomorrow, 5/22.
Next, we have position number 4, Ms. Billings.
Good afternoon, Ms. Billings. You have been charged in case 24 CR 003160F with battery family violence. Is there a history?
Second
Howard?
arrest, 2021 simple battery.
Judge, this incident took place May 20th, 2024. Officers responded to 7284 Madison Circle in South Fulton in reference to a domestic dispute. Upon arrival, the officers made contact with the defendant and the victim, Jenia Leonard. The victim advised that she and her cousin, the defendant, lived together. They were playing a card game with the other members of the family when the defendant started to get aggressive. The argument went outside where it turned into a fight. Both parties sustained injuries. The defendant had a black eye and a swollen lip, and the victim had a busted lip and broken nails. However, the police determined that the defendant was the primary aggressor. Our office has not been in touch with the victim. She does have a recent simple battery. I can't find any history of it in our court, even though it was a South Fulton arrest. So I don't have any information about that arrest, but in light of that, the state's recommending a $1,500 surety bond, a no further contact with the victim, a stay away from the incident location, anger awareness, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. And if we could sound for Miss Jenia Leonard.
Ms. Leonard, I'd like to address the court. I need for you to, you've got your hand raised. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you. You can place your hand down. What would you like to tell the court, ma'am?
I would just like the court to know that I am Antonia's mother, and she's really a good child, great young lady, actually. She doesn't get into any trouble, and I understand what the state is saying in reference to what they are reading in the police report, but we disagree with the state, facts that they're presenting at this time. And I would like to ask that the court see if she would be eligible for a signature bond, because Antonia does not get in trouble. She's a single mother of 2 dogs that is at home right now. They've been there for the last 2 days, which we've had to go over there and check on her home because she's been incarcerated for this. She's also employed full time, and she has not been able to go to work because of this incident. And we don't disagree with what's being presented as to what happened in the case. The other alleged party is my niece, but we won't be able to state any facts from my understanding until it goes to trial. But as of today, Your Honor, I would like to ask that she be issued a signature bond. She doesn't get in trouble. She hasn't got in trouble. And the old incident that they're speaking of, that was old as well, which was dropped down to disorderly conduct when there was other parties involved. And with her being off, she's not able to afford to even get a bond. I can't afford to pay for her bond. And it's not like she gets in trouble all the time. And she does need to be at work tomorrow, Your Honor. So I'm asking that she is granted a signature bond.
Okay, who lives at the Madison Circle address?
My sister. My daughter does not live there. She has her own place. So that's
Okay.
my sister's address.
And Jay Leonard, that's her
That's
cousin?
my niece. Yeah,
That's your
that's my niece.
and her cousin. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Thank you, ma'am. We appreciate you being here this afternoon.
Okay.
Mr. Cook.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 27 years old. She has lived in the Atlanta area her whole life. I believe she now lives on Cascade Road. She works full time at DHL. She's also about to start another job, and she's worked at DHL for 7 years. You've heard her record, which is perhaps nothing. It was a little fuzzy to me, but we would certainly be looking for, and we think that the cousin was the primary aggressor. Somebody did a lot of damage to my client. That's pretty clear. We would be looking for signature only bond through the jail. We would object to any anger awareness course. We have no objection to the stay away. She can be away from that the incident address, and of course, she would be more than happy to have no further contact with her cousin that has done her a lot of damage. So nothing further here.
Okay, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. Stay away from the Madison Circle address, no further contact with the alleged victim, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Billings.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Have a good afternoon, ma'am.
Okay, you too.
Position 10, Ms. Kenmore.
Good afternoon, Ms. Kenmore. You have been charged in case 24 CR 003164D with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Last arrest was in 1994.
Okay. Ms. Esiano?
Judge, this case, the report and the warrant say different things, so I'm going to do my best to reconcile what happened here. But essentially, this incident occurred May 11th, 2024. Officers responded to a fight in progress call at 705 University Avenue Southwest. Upon arrival, the officers made contact with the defendant, who stated that she and her live-in boyfriend, who's the victim in this case, his name's Richard Lathan, got into an argument and he punched her in the head. Then she said they were arguing over the victim's drinking. The victim demanded that the defendant take him home and started punching her in the head while she was driving. So the defendant stopped the car, got out, at which point the victim tried to get into the driver's seat and drive off, and the defendant hit him in the face with a brick. There's also grandkids in the back seat of the car. It's my understanding that the victim left the scene, took the grandkids out of the car and left the scene and left them stranded. According to the warrant, the police went back to the residence and saw the defendant on the ring camera striking the victim. According to the report, the defendant was stranded at a different location. Our office has been in touch with the defendant. He stated that they're in a relationship. They live together at the incident location. He confirmed the events in the warrant. He stated, Your Honor, I believe after this altercation, he was beat up by someone else and he was in intensive care until last week as a result of those injuries. He states that he was also arrested for this incident. I cannot find any information to corroborate that. I believe he's on the line. It's that we probably need to speak with him and kind of get some clarity, because unfortunately the paperwork I have just completely contradicts everything. So at this point, the state's going to recommend a signature bond through pretrial, a no further contact with the victim, a stay away from the incident location, and no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. I think it's down for Mr. Richard Lathan. I believe he's on the line.
Mr. Lathan, if you would like to address the court, I'll first need for you to turn your camera on for me.
My video don't work, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll need to have a working video for you to address me. Because I need to know who you are and that who you tell me that you are.
You know, the video's not working.
There it is. Hold on one second, sir.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Can you see me now, Your
I
Honor?
can see. Yes, I can see you, Mr. Latham. Can you raise your right hand for me?
Yes, sir.
Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can place your hand down. You can place your hand down, Mr. Latham. Before you go on, were you arrested in this matter?
I was told I had to turn myself in to Wright Street Jail, which I did yesterday.
Okay, so let me tell you, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. Okay, so I don't want you to get yourself in to say something that's going to get you in trouble since you were arrested also. Is there anything that you want to tell me about Ms. Kenmore as far as contact goes? Do you want contact with her or not?
Well, that's gonna be that's her neighborhood. Her son's over there now trying to throw my stuff out, throw my stuff in the streets, and this and that. He's called several times. He's over there right now. He called not less than 7 minutes ago, and he's over there throwing my stuff out. That's all I want to do.
Are you living somewhere else?
I'm staying with my daughter right now. You know,
Okay.
and that I got a brain bleed. You know, I was in the ICU unit, you know, in Piedmont East from Saturday until Wednesday.
Okay, and you all were living together at the University Avenue address?
Yeah, that was my girl. Yes, sir.
Okay, and you're telling me that you're not gonna be living there
She
for a
don't want me
while?
there. She don't want me there, and I don't want to be there under these circumstances.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Mr. Latham. Again, given that you were also arrested, I don't want you to say anything that might get you into further trouble, but I appreciate you telling me what you've told me so far, okay?
Okay, Your Honor, the detective that's on this case, he's got video.
Okay.
Me, he's got video of me being hit. He's got
Okay.
video of me being beat. He's got video of all that.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Latham. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Yes, Mr. Ty.
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 62 years old. She has lived in Georgia all her life. She has children, she has grandchildren, and as you heard from the state, she was punched in the head multiple times. The warrant states the same, and that she was hit with a beer can, in the face with a beer can. She was attacked, Your Honor. I don't know, and the complaining witness is saying that he was arrested. She is on disability. She's had 2 knee replacements. She's had a back surgery. Of course, she's not working. And she firmly denies the allegations in the warrant. The last time she was arrested was in 1994, and that was dismissed. She was recommended for a signature bond through the jail, so I would ask for a signature bond through the jail. And of course, no stay away from this address. It's her address. And as you heard from the complaining witness, he is moving out. No further contact is fine. Nothing further.
Okay, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail, no further contact with Richard Latham, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Kenmore.
Next, we have position 12, Ms. Mohammed.
Oh.
Good afternoon, Ms. Mohammed. You have been charged in case 24 CR 003159E with willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer and disorderly conduct. It's your history, Mr. Howard?
2024 probation. Open case out of the cab for trespass, simple battery.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched at 764 Charlotte Place, where they met with the victim, Miss Patricia Ward. She lives at that location. The defendant did come to her home, knock on her front door, and attempted and threatened to fight her. When law enforcement arrived at the scene, apparently the defendant jumped on the officer's back, and that's the basis for the obstruction. For the 1 count of disorderly conduct, we're asking for a $1,500 surety bond. For the obstruction, a $1,000 surety bond. Of course, a no contact with the victim, Patricia Ward, a stay away from her residence, 764 Chipotle Place. No weapon, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. I'm not sure if Ms. Ward is here, but we'll sound for Ms. Ward.
Ms. Ward is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Okay.
All right, so let me finish. She got an open simple battery DV and a battery DV in the cab. I also got a battery DV, terrorist threats, trespass. All right, now I'm done.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Howard.
Thank you, Mr. Howard.
Mr. Ty?
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 32 years old. She is the mother of 2 minor children, 6 years old and 4 years old. She actually does have court tomorrow for that open case. That's with her mother, Your Honor. Her mother tells me that she doesn't want to press charges, that was all a misunderstanding, and my client looks forward to she maintains her innocence in that case. And in this case, she does deny the allegations as stated in the warrant. Your Honor, she's graduated from high school. She attended college. She is employed full-time, working at a warehouse, and she's worried about losing that job and not being able to provide for her children. She has lived in Georgia for 10 years. She has strong ties to the community. She has a lot of family support here. I would ask for a signature bond through pretrial services. I don't know about a stay away from I think they're neighbors, I'm not sure, but I mean, a stay away from that specific address and no further contact with the neighbor, I believe, is fine, but I want her to be able to return to her home.
So
Nothing.
764 Charlotte Place, is that an apartment complex?
I believe it's a home, Your Honor.
Okay. So who lives at that home?
The victim, Patricia Ward.
Okay. So where's your client live, Miss Atai?
My client, I believe her address is 1893 Burning Tree Drive.
Okay, so she shouldn't have a problem staying away from the Charlotte Place.
I just didn't know how close they were.
Okay. Well, as
But
long as
stay
she's
away
not.
from that home is fine.
Okay. All right. So for each of the charges, it'll be a $1,500 signature bond through pretrial level 2. Per judge, if necessary, makes it a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2. 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Ms. Ward, stay away from the Charlotte Place address, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Muhammad.
Thank you. Next, we have a sit down there. Next, we have position 13, Miss Murphy.
Good afternoon, Ms. Murphy. You have been charged in case 24 CR 003161C with simple battery family violence. Is there a history?
Second, 2014 suspended license conviction.
You done, Mr. Howard?
Yes.
In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 888 Juniper Street, where they met with the victim. I'm just gonna spell her first name, Petagaye, last name Mellis. I'll let the court know now this was the dual arrest, but I have reviewed the warrant. I determined Miss Murphy to be the primary aggressor. So Miss Mellis's case was NOD'd. They live together. They're in a relationship together. They were having a disagreement. Miss Murphy put her earphones in her ear during the disagreement, and a fight ensued, and she struck Miss Mellis. The state is asking for a no contact, a stay away from the incident location, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond.
Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 33 years old. She and Ms. Mellis are in a relationship, Your Honor. My client denies that she was the primary aggressor, and she tells me it was just a misunderstanding between them. That is where she lives, and my understanding is that Miss Mellis would also like to have contact with her. So I would ask that her bond be conditioned on no further violent contact with Miss Mellis, Your Honor, and that it be a bond through the jail. Nothing
Can
further.
I ask where you got the basis for your understanding? Did you talk to the victim?
Sorry, I did speak with her. She was my client, Miss Mellis, and she did clearly state that she wants contact.
Okay, I
But
just
it was a
wanted to ask.
misunderstanding.
Well, the state still stands on its request.
Okay, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail, no further violent contact with Ms. Mellis, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Murphy.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Next is position 20, Miss Walker.
Good afternoon, Ms. Walker. I am Judge, well, you have been charged in case 24 CR 003174H with one misdemeanor offense. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
It's a fourth arrest. Last arrest was May 16th, trespass, simple battery, Clayton County. 06 simple battery, criminal damage to property, dismissed.
Mr.
Okay,
Walker?
Your Honor, in this case, apparently the defendant sent sexual videos and pictures of the victim to the victim's family group chat.
Your Honor, I'm sorry. I sincerely apologize. Can we please stop the YouTube for the nature of
Well, I mean, I've already said it now. Only thing I'm gonna say at this point is just a no contact and a SOB through pretrial. So So the
Okay.
victim's name is Raphael, Rafael, last name Yisrael. Signature bond through pretrial services, no contact with the victim, no weapon, drugs, or alcohol while on bond. I'm sorry, I just didn't have anything else to say at this point.
Okay, so it's Raphael what, Mr. Walker?
Last name is spelled Yisrael. Of course, we would sound, I don't know if he's on the line, but we would sound for him.
Mr. Ruff, is it a Mr.?
Yes.
If Mr. Raphael is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Okay. Yes, Ms. Kim.
Yes, can we still stop the YouTube though, just in
Oh,
case? Be
okay.
completely cautious because we make mistakes sometimes.
Were you objecting to the signature bond through pretrial?
No, I'm not objecting to it.
Oh, okay.
She might want to say something to me that she doesn't want on the YouTube, Mr. Walker.